Hello and welcome to the Power BI November 2021 update. In this video, we'll explore what's new this month and see some demos of the highlights. We have some big new updates for you in the reporting section. First, we're excited to announce the preview of the brand new Formatting Pane. Over the lifetime of Power BI, we've worked hard to continuously bring you features which allow you to make your visuals and reports look and feel exactly the way you want them to. The natural evolution of new formatting options was the unchecked expansion of our Formatting Pane. We listened to the community feedback and heard that exploring all of the ways you can format visuals, let alone find specific formatting options, has become increasingly challenging. We've responded by spending the last few months going through every property of every visual to build a more consistent and convenient formatting experience. We've revamped the whole pane to create a cleaner, more scalable interface. Rosie will walk us through the highlights of these exciting new changes.
We've heard a lot of feedback on our current format pane, specifically how formatting is inefficient and takes too long. Users spend a lot of time guessing and checking what various settings do. They've also asked us for a better interaction model and more vertical real estate when scrolling. Over the past few months, we've done a complete audit and redesign of the current format pane. Today, I'd like to highlight the biggest changes we've made to improve the usability and consistency across visuals. First, you'll notice our new pivot icons and subtitles. We've also added a different icon for page formatting versus visual formatting. This is to help new users better locate the format pane and format page settings. Next, you'll notice we've moved the entire Visualizations Types gallery to be under the Build tab. This is to provide more vertical real estate for the format pane and keep users focused on their formatting tasks. Our toggle also got a revamp. If you see here, our new compact toggle reduces truncation and improves readability of the settings names. The next big change we've made is splitting our list of formatting cards amongst two categories, the visual specific pivot and the general settings pivot. This allows for easier adjustment of general settings when clicking across visuals and better discoverability of visual specific cards. We've also heard feedback on how cumbersome it is to revert all your format settings back to default. This is especially important if you're trying to sync your report to your theme file. Previously, you'd have to open each of the cards and choose Revert to Default. Now we've built this awesome global settings menu to revert your settings and navigate the pane. Get ready for this next one. No more double scroll bars. This is huge. Previously, when scrolling within a long card, the format pane had 2 scroll bars. Now we have one that adapts to the length of the contents. Digging into the cards, you'll now see that we've broken down the settings further into subcategories. This improves readability and allows you to hone in on specific parts of the card one at a time. We've also added a new context menu for navigating these subcategories to quickly expand and collapse for scanning and scrolling. Also, small but mighty change, we've merged the font family and font size properties into one, saving yet again even more vertical space. Along with these subcategories, we've aligned the order, naming conventions, and information hierarchy across visuals for similar settings. Throughout the years, the format pane has received many new additions, but these additions haven't always been added in a consistent fashion. For new users especially, this can be hard to learn what things are and where they are if the cards and settings are constantly jumping around. So we've consolidated, renamed, and added missing units where necessary. Another enhancement, we've added the same yellow highlight you see in the Fields List and Filter pane to search in the format pane. Now it's much easier to see where the match occurred. And finally, as an added bonus, to match the new format pane style, we've updated the analytics pane to the same look and feel. Again, these are just the biggest changes you'll see in the new format pane redesign. The real gems are hidden in the details, so we look forward to shipping this to preview and hearing all your feedback. Thanks.
So go ahead, try the new Formatting Pane experience, which is currently in preview, by going to the Preview Features section of the Options menu and checking the new Format Pane option. For more details on all of the changes we've made, check out the link in the video description below. Next, we're excited to release new page and bookmark navigators for your Power BI reports. Setting up page and bookmarks used to be a time-consuming process, requiring you to set up every single button for every page or bookmark. The new page and bookmark navigators will allow you to quickly build page and bookmark navigation experiences with just a few clicks, saving you hours of effort. You can find the new page and bookmark options in the Insert tab in the ribbon under the Buttons option. The Page Navigator will be automatically in sync with the pages in your report, with buttons and button names that update as you add and rename pages in your report. The Bookmark Navigator will do the same with your bookmarks. You can also format these bookmarks, including their layout and selection state behavior. Sujatha will take us through these powerful additions to the product.
This month, we're super excited to announce two new button types, one for page navigation and another for bookmark navigation. These new navigators will allow you to create custom navigation experiences without needing to create multiple buttons or managing and maintaining those buttons as you add in new pages or new bookmarks. Let's take a look at this example. So here on the left, I have this page navigator here. So I'll click on that and you can see here that this is all a single unit. It's not multiple buttons. And the way I've formatted this is if I go to the Pages tab within Format Navigator, you'll see here that I'm allowing to show any of the hidden pages, and then I've turned off showing tooltip pages. So the cool thing about this is that as I add in new pages, it'll get automatically added to the navigator. So for example here, let's go ahead and just add a page 1, and we'll go back to the navigator. You see that it got automatically added to this navigator, and you'll notice that the page name matches exactly the name that you see here. So if you wanted to rename it, you can just double click and rename the page. You can also change the order of the page, and it will impact how it shows up in the list of pages. So as you can see like that. And you'll get a ton of formatting options as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. So for one, you'll get the normal options like you would any other button, which is like the fill, outline, text, and shape options. And then a new thing that you'll get that's really great for navigation experiences is specifying what layout you want, whether you want vertical, grid, or horizontal, and also specifying how much padding you want in between the individual buttons within the navigator. So that kind of gives you a bit of info about the page navigator. We recommend checking out our documentation for more details. Now let's take a look at the bookmark navigator. So the one that I've created in this example is right here, which is looking at bookmarks for company analysis, as well as genre analysis, and then finally we have one for platform analysis. So let me first show you what bookmarks that these correspond with. So we have them available here. So in this bookmark group, I have global sales, and there you see those 3 bookmarks. And the way that I've set this one up is if we go over to bookmarks, we have this option where we specify either all bookmarks or we specify a specific bookmark group, which in this case is the global sales group, which has those 3 bookmarks. And so the beauty of this is that as I'm adding new bookmarks, I just need to drag and drop them and add them in the group, and they would automatically show up here in the navigator. And as I reorder them, you'll also see that the order changes immediately. Same if I rename the bookmarks here as well. And so that kind of gives you a little flavor of what's offered with these new navigation experiences. And I highly recommend trying it out and customizing it to really build out those custom experiences that you want in your report, and seeing how so much easier it is to update as you add in new bookmarks or new pages, and maintaining those navigation experiences as your report changes over time.
Next, we're happy to introduce the ability to adjust the sort direction for items in your legends. To control the sort direction, navigate to the context menu of the visual header, and then select the field and sort direction in the Sort Legend flyout. This improvement will also help with reordering some of the data in visuals, like stacked column charts, as well as helping with which lines or areas are rendered on top of others in other Cartesian charts. Please note that currently the feature only allows you to sort by the field in your legend field well. Next, be on the lookout for exciting updates everywhere you see text formatting options like font family, font size, and color. You'll be able to find new options which allow you to bold, italicize, and underline text as well. This is a particularly useful addition which allows you to emphasize important text in your visuals. Further, the text box visual has now been updated with 3 new formatting options: superscript, subscript, and bulleted lists, offering greater flexibility with the content you include in text boxes. You can access the new options through the floating formatting pane. This month, we've added an option to set the rotation of your pie and donut charts. The current method of drawing our pie and donut chart slices is starting from the top center and then moving clockwise. We then sort the pie chart slices by size by default, which, depending on your data, can create thin slices at the end of the pie chart and affect the amount of room available to display your data labels. We listen to your feedback, and to help you in cases where maximizing data label real estate is critical, we've introduced a new rotation option in the formatting pane to give you control over where we start drawing the pie. You can find this in the Shapes card in the old formatting pane as Start Angle, and in its own rotation card in the new formatting pane. Rien will show us a demo of some of these new visual formatting features.
Hi everyone. I wanted to take you through a few improvements to visual formatting that we've added this release. I'll include some additional context, but they're all pretty straightforward, so this should be a short demo. First is sort direction in Legends. In my visual with Legends, if I head into the header menu, we'll see that I can now sort the legend field from ascending to descending, which changes the order the items show up in the legend. So we start with audio, click descending. Now we've started with TV and video, which is, the last alphabetically. This is pretty useful when you have a lot of categories, more than, the ones that will fit in the legend with the size of visual that you have, and if you want to change around which ones show up first. It also affects, as you saw, which categories will show up first on stacked and clustered charts. So that was a stacked example. If I go to the cluster chart and then I change this back to descending, you'll see that now the red bars start first and the little light blue bars go at the end. And it'll also change which lines get drawn on top of others in line charts. So same thing, I have red being drawn on top of purple here because it gets drawn after, and then sort descending. Now purple gets drawn on top of red. We draw the red one first, then the purple one on top of it afterward. So again, this is most useful when you have a lot of categories and it matters what the order is. And this is also a good first step toward being able to sort legend by other fields, which will really step up the flexibility of sorting. Then, for example, you'll be able to sort your top selling categories first in legend, and then the long tail can fall off as hidden. Again, not in here yet, but this is a good first step. And you'll also notice that we've made a few small changes to the sort menu. So this way it scales to make other elements sortable. You'll notice that for category axes, you'll get a sort axis option. For small multiples, you have a sort small multiples flyout as well. So more elements will be sortable. Again, this opens us up for more future additions here. Next is bold, italics, and underline of text. So this one's pretty straightforward. Everything that you can modify as far as text, you can now also add bold, italics, underline. So category label, want to bold it? Fine. Data label, underline that? Great. You can do that everywhere there's text. Bold, italics, underlines. So it's a small addition, but it's honestly something I think, at least, that we were sorely lacking. And so I hope you appreciate it as much as I do. Not that you needed incentive to switch to the new formatting pane also, but if you see here, we have 3 different lines for each of those 3 different bold, italics, underline options. In the new format pane, you'll just get them as icon buttons in one row, just like with modern text formatting in Word and such. So more incentive to try out the new formatting pane. I'd also like to show you some new formatting options for text boxes. So here we've added a bit more robustness to the text, since text in text boxes takes center stage. You can now write superscript text, subscripted text, and create bulleted lists, as you see here. Maybe you don't want to use Power BI as a grocery list, but if you did, now you can. This is on top of everything else you could do with text boxes already, and hopefully this makes formatting simpler. It makes citations or chemical and mathematical formulas possible at all. So I think this is a great new change. And lastly is pie and donut chart rotation. So if we look at how we draw pie chart slices today, you'll see that we start from a line pointing straight up vertically, and then go clockwise from there. And then the slices at the end get all bunched up around there as well. And so this layout makes a lot of intuitive sense. So we're not planning on changing the default on where we start drawing slices. But our whole canvas is bigger lengthwise than height, and text runs horizontally, so we lose a good amount of real estate for data labels this way, because the slices at the end are so thin and so close, and they're also vertical. You can't draw the data labels, right next to each other, and see they get really cramped. And if you see, we can only fit 8 data labels here, even though we have more than 8 categories. So it's a pretty simple example here, but if we then go into the changing rotation option under the shapes card, and we change this from 0 degrees to 120 degrees, now we can see that the data labels for all those slices go from top to bottom on the right side, which lets the text run horizontally. And this lets us go from 8 data labels to 9. And so I'm sure there are also other aesthetic reasons that you want to be able to rotate the pie charts. So I think in general, including pie chart and donut chart rotation is a really nice feature to have. So these are the visual updates we've made now. They set us up for the future, introduce a lot of formatting conveniences, and overall is a good slate of new improvements for you to use.
Next, we're excited to announce the addition of the new Scorecard Visual. Integrating goals and scorecards deeply into reporting solutions is a great way to help drive alignment and progress on a team. When the new Scorecard Visual is included in a report, users can see the entire scorecard and even make updates to their goals. Not only does this allow you to integrate scorecards seamlessly into reports, now goals can also be created from within the Power BI desktop, streamlining how they are created and managed. The underlying scorecard added to a report must be added to the Power BI service, and we've made it very easy to do this right from the desktop as well. This visual supports various formatting options for scorecards, ranging from font style and colors to backgrounds, so you can customize existing scorecards to fit the look and feel of your report. We've listened to your feedback about how important it is to make sure you can visualize and update goals and scorecards right in the context of your Power BI reports. We're going to continue to expand and improve on goals visualization and integration in reports, and we're very excited to see how you make them an integral part of your Power BI solutions. So why not upload your solution to the Data Stories Gallery at community.powerbi.com? Then go ahead and send me a tweet at ms_KELLYKAYE. And who knows, you may be in the running for a community giveaway. Last month, we introduced a tenant level feature switch to enable or disable the Bing Maps visual. Along with this change, we indicated that Bing Maps moving forward will require explicit opt-in for new tenants and will be disabled by default. We've previously stated we expected the change in the November desktop release. We've since moved it back to another release. Please be aware that this disconnect between the default availability of the Bing Maps visual on desktop and on service can create situations where report viewers cannot see a Maps visual that its author can see on desktop. In the Data Connectivity and Preparation section, we have several new and updated connectors for you this month. First, we're excited to announce the public preview of the Azure Synapse Analytics Workspace Beta connector for Power BI Desktop, enabling users to work with all Synapse databases. The connector automatically discovers Synapse workspaces users have access to. With support for related tables and auto-import for relationships from Synapse to Power BI Desktop, users can now use their Synapse data to speed up time to results. For scenarios using direct query and native query on SQL databases, please continue to use the existing Synapse connector, Azure Synapse Analytics, as these functionalities are not yet supported in the preview version of this connector. You'll be happy to know we listened to your feedback and we're bringing you a connector in the form of the Google Sheets connector. The connector is built on top of the Google Sheets API and enables out-of-the-box connectivity to Google Sheets. After selecting Google Sheets in the Power BI Get Data experience, you will then be prompted to enter a Google Sheet URL. Paste a URL that you have access to and select OK. Then sign in using your Google account and give permission for Power BI Desktop to access your Google Sheets. Simply select the sheets to import to Power Query Editor and continue to transform your data there. The Google Sheets connector supports access to shared drives and will require you to authenticate to every Google Sheet you connect to. We hope you'll find this connector useful and look forward to hearing more of your feedback. Next, we're excited to announce the preview of the Azure Cosmos DB v2 connector. We had previously released a native Power BI connector which supported import mode only to query data stored in the transactional store of Azure Cosmos DB containers. The new native Power BI connector supports querying the transactional store both in direct query and import modes, and includes a number of performance optimizations related to query pushdown and data serialization. We are also excited to announce the preview of the Delta Sharing connector. Delta Sharing is an open protocol that enables secure exchange of datasets across products and platforms by leveraging proven and scalable technologies like REST and cloud storage. This connector is a route for gaining instant virtual insights on live datasets shared with them through Delta Sharing and leveraging the rich and familiar functionality of the Power BI with Delta Shares. We have also updated the Google BigQuery, Cognite Data Fusion, and Dremio Cloud connectors with some enhancements and bug fixes. To learn more about these updates, check out this month's release blog post. Next, we have several announcements for you in the service section. First, we've made a number of improvements to the Datasets Hub. You can now set a destination workplace when you create a new report online. When you hit the Save button, you can now choose which workspace to save the report to, a great improvement for the functionality of shared datasets. We've also added quick access from the report view to the underlying dataset. The dataset page can be useful for both dataset owners and viewers, including checking refresh status, viewing other reports which use the same dataset, viewing usage metrics, and being able to create new reports on top of that dataset. Next, we're announcing Azure Lockbox support for Power BI. Most operation support and troubleshooting performed by Microsoft personnel do not require access to customer data. In those rare circumstances where access is required, Customer Lockbox for Microsoft Azure, now supported in Power BI, provides an interface for customers to review and approve or reject customer data access requests. It is used in cases where a Microsoft engineer needs to access customer data, such as remote accessing a server and taking a memory dump of a Power BI dataset in import mode, providing you with the assurance that any access by our live site or engineering teams to your in-scope customer content as part of a standard operating procedure will go through admin approval. We also have some exciting new updates to Power BI goals. First is goal level permissions. In many organizations, different roles have access to view and edit specific goals. For example, managers see goals related to human resources and finances, while employees can view goals related to operations. In many cases, specific individuals or groups should be the only ones who can edit or update goals. Now, with goal level permissions, you can set specific view and update permissions at the goal level. To set up goal level permissions while in edit mode, open the Settings pane, find the New Permissions tab, which will help you create roles with different permission sets, and then go ahead and assign the roles to user groups. You can also set a default permission model applied to everyone accessing the scorecard. By enabling goal level permissions, you're able to ensure your scorecard consumers are accessing only what they should be able to see and updating only what they should be able to update. We're also announcing Power Automate integration for Power BI goals. This new capability helps you automate business processes when important changes happen within your scorecard. It helps your organization quickly respond to changing conditions by keeping everyone up to date and taking automated actions to improve outcomes. This new capability is very easy to use because you can launch Power Automate directly from your scorecard and immediately construct your automated flow. You can also now move goals around in the scorecard by clicking and dragging, as well as show, hide, and move columns in your scorecard. These new formatting capabilities will allow you to reflect your metrics in the right ways and highlight the most important information first. We have a couple of updates for you in the mobile section. First, you can now use QR codes with URL parameters to access Power BI reports. While you've been able to use the mobile app to scan a QR code to open a report, you can now also add query parameters to the report URL, so that when a QR code with the URL is scanned, those query parameters become the report's filter. To use this new capability, use a browser-based QR generator to generate and save a QR code for the filtered URL. Please keep in mind that the Power BI Services QR generator does not support query parameters. Then open the Power BI mobile app and tap the camera to scan the QR code. The report will open, filtered according to the URL parameters. Next, we've redesigned the report filter pane to make it easier to understand the filters applied to reports and their visuals. The filter pane redesign includes updated tabs that add clarity to an area being filtered, with highlighting to indicate which filters are currently being applied, and a cleaner style for the filter categories, and greater ease of use for touch gestures. The new filter pane also supports filter color customizations performed by the report creator, so now the filter pane can have the same look and feel as you've designed. Next, we have a variety of updates for you in the Embedded Analytics section. Power BI Embedded Gen 2 is now generally available, and just like Premium Gen 2, this update brings with it a performance boost as cluster nodes are sized like A6 or P3 and in greater scale, as there are fewer memory restrictions and a complete separation between report interaction and scheduled refreshes. Embedded Gen 2 capacities have added values in addition to the benefits of Premium Gen 2, including lower entry level for embedded paginated reports and AI workloads, and you can now scale Azure capacities up and down in seconds instead of minutes with zero downtime. Please note, You can continue to use Gen 1 capacities until the auto-migration on January 15, 2022, and these capacities can no longer be created via the user interface. We've also added the option to shorten the maximum lifespan of an embed token generated by the Generate Token Request API call by adding the lifetime in minutes parameter to it. This is useful for security purposes in case your solution requires you to generate a token that is shorter than the default one, as determined by the AAD token expiry time. Please keep in mind this can't be used to extend the default time of the embed token. It can only be used to shorten it. The option is also available in the .NET SDK starting from version 3.29.0. Further, you can now embed a Power BI report that contains a paginated report visual in all embedding scenarios. When embedding a paginated report visual in a Power BI report with the Embed for Your Customers method, you need a service principal and a multi-resource embed token containing a Power BI report ID, a paginated report ID, and a dataset ID of the Power BI report, and the service principal must have access to both reports. Next, if you're looking to embed an existing report in your website or portal, we've made it even easier for you to get started from within the Power BI service. With your report open in the Power BI service, you can now access the Developer Playground directly from the Embed Report menu under the File menu, which will then open the Developer Sandbox in the Power BI Embedded Analytics Playground with the same report loaded, available and ready to work on immediately. This is a great place for you to explore all of the features that Power BI Embedded has to offer, and it'll help you get a feel for how your report will behave when embedded into your own app. And once you're ready to start embedding in your app, you can continue directly from the playground to set up your Power BI Embedded environment. Next up, we have some exciting updates to share with you in the visualization section. First, new visuals available for you on AppSource this month are the Dual Axis Scatter Plot by Yavda Analytics, the Growth Rate Chart by Genie BV, and the Process Mining with Power BI Visual by AppSphere AG Publisher. Updated visuals include the Info River Standard Edition visual by Lumel, the Drill Down Map Pro by Zoom Charts, the Lipstick Bar Chart by Nova Silver, and my personal favourite, the Charticulator visual. Please note our editor's picks are moving to a quarterly cadence, so be sure to look out for our highlight visuals in the February update. Lastly, you can now find report sample files easily in AppSource. Report sample files are submitted by the visuals publisher together with the visual package during the submission process. The sample files help report creators understand how to use the visuals. The report creator can see fields, datasets, and tables that work with the visual in a real report sample. Many of these reports also include tips and tricks and further usage information from the publishers. You can now find these on appsource.com simply through the Download Sample option on a Visuals page. And whether you're new to Power BI or experienced, we invite you to join us at community.powerbi.com, where you can learn more about Power BI and connect with our vibrant Power BI community members, MVPs, and super users. Join the community to ask a question, post your data stories in the Data Stories gallery for everyone to see, watch free content within our webinar and video gallery, or better still, why not join us and help a community member learn about Power BI by answering a simple question on one of the many forum topics. Answering questions helps encourage others learn more about Power BI, because we're definitely better together. And if helping others learn or learning from others is something you like to do, check out our free community platform at aka.ms/ Power BI UG. Join a user group, become a user group leader, or help a user group leader in your area. You can even use our community platform to create a user group for your colleagues who want to learn more about Power BI in a collaborative environment. And that's all for this month. As always, we hope you enjoyed the updates, and please keep sending us feedback on what you'd like to see in upcoming releases. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again next month.